Honey, these demons are all in the black community. These BLK fathers, this father have done something so evil and so wicked. And can I be honest with you? I did another report a while ago, it was 4 or 5 months ago. Do you guys remember the father, the black father that unalived his kids and put them in the trunk of his car and just let them sit there? So when I tell you, please be careful. They are saying DV rates and cases are going up. Y'all know people don't got no money. People are being laid off. And when people are low income, crime does go up. This should be take one as a heat as a warning. So I got this video and I'm going to replay it and react to it. This is a father, 31 years of age. He woke up 6 o'clock, before 6, around 5:30 in the morning, and he unalived in his household all his kids, and he piled his wife in the head. Then he ran to another household where he had his other kids, and he piled them in their head and tried to unalive the girlfriend. Then he went to another household where he has, I'm assuming, some kids over there too, and his sister, I'm hearing, and try to unalive, or he did unalive their, child. When I tell you this is still developing, but this is horrible. People talk about the pictures he just took the day before the killing with his daughter, and people are like, well, how can he, how can these guys, these guys, they will take pictures of you, and it seems like everything happy to post up on the internet. That is just a cover up. They do it all the time. Men are really good at lying. That is their specialty. So they know they can push something on the internet and you guys believe it. Okay. So let's watch this video. This is the guy that unalived his babies. He is a monster. The reports I'm hearing, the police, he had a shoot off with a police, and he's not here. Some people are saying they wanted him to suffer more, but I don't know what else can you do. Ladies, please be careful, because this is war. It's war on the internet. You hear these black men always dogging out these black women and everything is their fault. So we have to stay aware. I'm going to play this video. I'm going to be going live about this case later on tonight. I'm also going to do more live streaming to bring more awareness to the DV cases in the black community. These relationships and marriages in the black community is not safe. And I'm going to make it my mission to bring you guys awareness, okay, of how these black men are. So let's like, share, and subscribe to this channel, The Messy Sweet Spot, and let's see what they're going to say. I'm going to react. So sometimes I may stop and go, okay? Just want to give you guys a heads up. So all right, here we go. And people ask a lot of times, they said, why won't he just leave? Because these black men feel like they own you. They feel like their kids are their property, they're theirs, and they feel like you are their property. These men are not going to leave y'all. They're going to unalive y'all, okay? Yeah, they're going to unalive you. It's numerous reports and data that back this up. They are going to unalive you when you least expect it. Stop underestimating the demon, okay? The one that's going to kill you is the one that says they love you. Remember that. Because this guy told these kids, I love you. This guy told his wife and girlfriends, I love you. The one that's going to take you out of here, majority, 99%, is going to be a man. And this man is going to tell you, I love you. So let's play. Y'all need to know it, because everybody keep on sugarcoating shit and they not telling y'all the real.
3 different homes this morning.
We're standing in this place again. There are 8 children that are deceased. I can't be strong for you. I think about the mother and what this family has lost. I think about this community and what this community has lost. And I don't have the words to give you, and I'm sorry.
I was still in bed Sunday morning when my phone started going off. I figured it was the usual weekend noise. Political takes, sports scores, something I could ignore until I was actually awake. Then I read the headline,
I'm going to fast forward this a little bit.
formally confirmed by police. 31-year-old Shamar Elkins was the father of those children. He walked through those rooms. He knew every one of those faces. And he killed them anyway. The shooting began close to 6 in the morning in a residential neighborhood in northwest Shreveport. 8 children, ranging from 1-year-old to 14, were found dead. 2 adult women were shot, one critically, one seriously. And somewhere inside that chaos, a young boy connected to the family made a decision that probably saved his life. We'll get to that. I kept thinking about the 14-year-old. At that age, you understand what's happening around you. You feel the weight of being the oldest in a room full of younger ones. I don't know if they tried to do something. I don't know if they had time. What I do know is that the oldest victim in that house was still a child, and the man—
No, they did not have child. That man came in there, guns a-blazing, pow, pow, pow. He was running fast as hell. He was on a mission, okay? People are trying to suck this up. Oh, he was dealing with mental illness because he went to the war. Bullshit. He knew exactly what he was going for. He targeted all his victims. He went to 3 different locations. That's a person that knows what's going on. He hijacked a car. He know exactly what he's doing. People say, well, he snapped. How long did it fucking take you to snap? Does snapping last an hour, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes? After doing all this shit, he ain't fucking snapped. He just wanted to do what he wanted to do. These are Satan's sons. Satan's sons, what did they do? Go around and steal, kill, and destroy. Okay? He killed them babies. He destroyed a family. He destroyed a generation. And he stole the car. And he stole people's lives. All right? And this makes the black community look horrible. This make black men look horrible. This make black fathers look horrible. Okay? It makes them look so horrible. And another thing, they were talking about this past Easter, he did go to church with his kids. And he's a Christian doing this. Man, I tell you, let's get these likes up, comment. I want to know, what are y'all thoughts about this?
who killed them was supposed to be the person they were safest with in the world. Shreveport Mayor Tom Arsenault, unconfirmed but widely circulated, Shaniqua had been planning to leave him. That detail reframes everything. Because 2 days before the shooting, Elkins was on Facebook posting about having all his kids together for Easter. Smiling, present. The picture of a father who showed up. Then the day before, Saturday, the last ordinary day, he posted about taking his oldest child out. Just the 2 of them. People who saw those posts liked them, commented on them, moved on with their weekend. Nobody reading that feed saw what was sitting underneath it. That is not a criticism of the people who missed it. That is the point. He was performing normalcy right up to the edge. After the shootings, Elkins did not surrender. He carjacked a vehicle at gunpoint half a block from the original scene at the corner of West 79th and Linwood and drove. Police pursued him across the parish line into Bossier. The chase ended on the 400 block of Brampton Lane, a confrontation where officers opened fire and killed him. No officers were hurt. Bordelon was unambiguous when pressed. 1 shooter, 1 man. No one else fired a single round across any of those locations. TikTok users in Shreveport described hearing sustained gunfire that morning. Not a single shot, a stretch of it, long enough to make people go still before they talked themselves through it. The gap between that sound and whatever anyone did with it is a question this case is going to carry for a long time. What Elkins posted the day before tells you something the crime sequence alone never could. He wasn't unraveling publicly. He was curating. The Easter photo, the outing with his oldest, the image of a man fully present in his children's lives, that was a performance with an audience. And when the thing he was most afraid of losing became inevitable, the performance ended, and something else entirely took over. Who he really was underneath all of it, and how long it had been building, is the part nobody around him was supposed to see. Elkins was not a phantom who appeared from nowhere. He was embedded in that neighborhood, connected to those homes, to the women who survived him, to the children he is believed to have fathered. Within an hour of the first breaking news alerts, People who knew him were talking on Facebook, not to defend him, to describe him. And what came back wasn't the portrait of someone publicly feared or flagged. It was a man described as present, as a father who showed up. And according to posts circulating on Facebook, he was also a former United States Army veteran. If that holds, it adds a layer that changes how you read everything that followed. Because the military trains men to compartmentalize, to function under pressure, to keep the mission moving regardless of what is happening inside. That skill set does not disappear when the uniform comes off. Sometimes it just finds a different application. That gap between how someone presents and what they are capable of is one of the most documented patterns in familicide research. Men who kill their own families rarely register as dangerous beforehand. The research consistently finds a controlling personality underneath the community-facing performance. Someone who experiences the family not as people they love, but as an extension of their own identity that must be managed. The trigger is almost always perceived loss of control, a separation, a relationship ending on someone else's terms. None of those specifics have been officially confirmed in this case, but the shape of what happened fits the documented pattern with uncomfortable precision. Legally, what Elkins did carries first-degree murder in Louisiana, multiple counts with the element of deliberation central to everyone. On the violence moved between homes, through decisions made at every threshold. That is not a single explosive moment. That is a sequence. Any prosecutor reviewing this case will treat that sequence as direct evidence of premeditated intent. Not a man who lost control, but a man who kept choosing. The Louisiana State Police investigation into the Bossier Parish confrontation runs on a parallel legal track, separate from the homicide case. Whether the force used to stop Elkins was lawful will be determined through that process. Both tracks matter. Neither forecloses the other. I grew up on a block where one of our neighbors was first at every school event, organized everything, never missed anything. My mother said once she never trusted Cheerful that hard. She couldn't explain it, and neither could I. But she was right about things like that, more often than she was wrong. The world around Elkins's household had been there the whole time. What it did and didn't do, with what it sensed, is where this goes next. Cedar Grove is the kind of neighborhood where people know each other, not formally, but by cars, by faces, by the sound of which house is loud on which nights. Residents described hearing gunfire that morning that was sustained enough to register as unusual. A sequence, not a pop. The kind of sound that makes you go still before you explain it away. No prior domestic disturbance calls to those addresses have been publicly reported. No restraining orders have surfaced. No child welfare intervention has been named. If the system had a file on that household, it hasn't been acknowledged. And if it didn't, that absence is its own finding, because a household with that many children and that level of eventual violence is exactly the situation that early domestic intervention frameworks exist to reach. Louisiana carries one of the highest domestic violence fatality rates in the country. Shreveport sits inside that reality with a social services infrastructure that has been chronically under-resourced. None of that caused what Elkins did. But it shapes the environment where warning signs, if they existed, had fewer places to land and fewer people trained to catch them. And that is an institutional failure that deserves a plain, honest name. On TikTok, people from the community described a family that dealt with things quietly, unconfirmed, but the framing kept repeating across different accounts. Private struggle. Nothing visible from outside. Most of us have sat in a room with someone and felt something we couldn't explain and then talked ourselves out of it. That is human, but it has a cost when the thing we're talking ourselves out of is real. The boy who jumped from that roof is somewhere right now carrying what he saw. 2 women are in hospital beds, and 8 children are in a morgue while their names remain unspoken in any official record. By Sunday evening, the names of the 8 children had not been released. Police were still notifying families, the right process, but it means the public record of who those children were stops at an age range, 1 to 14. That is where it sits. And at some point, those names need to be spoken, because 8 lives reduced permanently to a number is its own erasure. The woman in critical condition is still fighting. What her recovery looks like, physically, psychologically, is a question no verdict will answer. The surviving boy has not been publicly identified. What he needs right now is not coverage. It is sustained, immediate trauma support, and whether he is receiving it remains unknown. No motive has been confirmed. The domestic classification is a framework, not a resolution. It tells you the category. It does not tell you what happened in that house in the hours before 6 in the morning that moved a man to walk through every room. That question is still open.
I don't know what people think in the crevices of their mind to want to harm another human being, let alone that of children who have their whole life ahead of them. From what I've learned about this incident is that it's domestic in nature that makes it even more horrific for all the fighting that we do as it relates to this. And maybe you can stand strong with this, but I can't without shedding tears of traumatic pain.
My honest read. This case will be processed and closed through channels that treat it as a completed event. But for the women who survived, for the boy who jumped, or for the families of 8 children without names in the public record yet, it is not completed. It is the thing that happened and will not stop happening. What justice owes them is speed, clarity, and a record that says their children's names out loud. Anything less is a second failure. And in cases like this one, the second failure is always quieter than the first, which is exactly how it keeps happening. 8 children. Their names aren't in the public record yet. But they were real, specific, irreplaceable people who had entire lives ahead of them that were taken in the span of one morning. They deserved every single year. If this case stayed with you, subscribe, hit like, and share it, because the only thing worse than what happened in Shreveport is if the world moves on by Tuesday. Next time, we're going into a case where the cover-up ran deeper than the crime itself. You don't want to miss it.
This morning, officers responded to a shooting that occurred just after 6 a.m. In doing so, determined that this was a domestic call in nature. The responding officers located a crime scene here in the 300 block of West 79th Street, and this is a rather extensive crime scene spanning between 2 residences here. There is also another residence on Harrison Street that is part of this crime scene as well. Right now, we have at least 10 individuals that were struck by gunfire last night in a domestic disturbance. 8 of these individuals are deceased. Ranges of the decedents are from 1 year of age. All of the deceased in this case are juvenile. The individual responsible, once leaving this scene, performed a carjacking right here in close proximity to the corner of West 79th and Linwood, at which point in time, Shreveport Police Patrol officers got behind that vehicle and a chase ensued. The vehicle was chased into Bossier Parish, and at which point in time, Shreveport police officers did discharge their firearm, and that individual is deceased. We do believe him to be the only individual that fired gunshots at these locations here. He is deceased, and Louisiana State Police will be taking over that portion in which the Shreveport police officers discharged their firearms. So we don't have any more information on the shooting that occurred in Bossier. What we can tell you is this is a domestic disturbance here in the 300 block of West 79th Street. This is a very large scene with multiple deceased children present, and so we're going to ask for your patience in us getting information out. We will release the name of the suspect that is deceased when we have made the proper notifications. We do know that some of the children inside were his descendants, and so once we are assured of everyone's names and ages and the proper channels have been notified, we'll be releasing all of that information. But we did want you to come on and give what information we have available. So at this point in time, I'd like to bring the mayor. So if he has some words, he's been here sincerely part of this investigation.
Thank you, Chris. Whenever we have a situation like this, the words of the poet John Gunn always come to mind. No mind man is an island knows himself. So therefore, never ask for money well told for me. We have a hurting community. We have hurting families. We have hurting police officers, coroner's personnel, fire department, sheriff people, And this affects the entire community. So we all mourn with these families. It's a Sunday morning. I ask all of you who are listening, might be able to pray at your services this morning for not just this family, for all the victims, for the victims who are at the hospital, and for the Cedar Grove community, and for the community at large, as well as police officers, coroners, fire department, Caddo Parish Sheriff's Office. This is a tragic situation, maybe the worst tragic situation we've ever had in Shreveport. And so right now, we're going to process the information. It's in very good hands. But it's a terrible morning in Shreveport, and we all know in the connection.
My heart goes out to this entire community for the tragic event that has taken place this morning. I just don't know what to say. My heart is just taken back. I just cannot begin to imagine how such an event can occur. I want to let the community know that all of my resources are out here processing every piece of evidence and every scene. And at some time in the near future, we'll be able to give some more conclusive information about exactly what took place. I want to thank the agencies that have reached out to me this morning and also their assistance. Thank you so much to Cedar Grove here, Department, the Louisiana State Police, Shreveport Fire Department, and all that have either come out to help or called and offered their assistance. And that we're going to be working diligently, however long it takes to get some answers to what's taking place.
Chief Smith indicated we will release more information when it's available. We will be working closely with the coroner's office. So look for some information, hopefully by tomorrow, on the information in regards to the case children. And just please keep this community and these officers in your thoughts and prayers, because that's very okay. It's a extensive scene, unlike today. Unless ever
Chris, can you give the exact address of like where this occurred, the shooting occurred?
Well, so you have three different scenes. The shooting itself occurred just down the road there. There's also another Wolf Harrison. There's a Jason resident who was sitting ran to after the shooting. So it is an extensive scene. Once we have all of the information, the best we can do is sit together.
Chris, what time did all of this just start?
Early morning hours. The initial message distributed is somewhere in the 5 o'clock hour, I believe. But once I have a timeline, we'll tell that.
Have you ever seen anything like this in your years of working, Chris?
This is I'd like anything to school.
I know you said you can't release the name of the suspect yet, but can you give an age? Was he a juvenile? Was he an adult?
No, the suspect is an adult. We'll give that information out. Hopefully,
And you said it happened at multiple locations. Gunfire happened at multiple locations. How many locations exactly?
So the Harrison Street address, we know there's a shooting there. There's multiple deceased persons here in the 300 block of West 79th. And then the shooting that occurred in Ocean. So we have several crime scenes. I really want to thank Louisiana State Police and Ocean and Caddo Sheriff's Office. This type of scene requires a lot of resources, requires a lot of officers. It's thoroughly investigated, and we can do the best we can to try to understand this. So the best we can to explain it and get whatever closure we can get.
And you're sure they're all connected, all the scenes?
Yes, absolutely. These things are undoubtedly connected. Right now, there is no public safety threat and no this violence. That individual is deceased.
Are you able to share a motive at this time?
Thank you all.
Thank you.